Oh, you know I'm ready. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your absolutely favorite podcast. Riffin with Griffin, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit you with the whoa, and the whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, y'all, welcome back. This is a special episode of Riffin With Griffin. I finally got this little fat fuck to come on the show. Head is 86% of his body fat. He got a deep-ass belly button. Head is so big. But I finally got him to come on, so welcome to the podcast. The very special, my friend, you know who it is, Mr. Brown Disney. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, y'all, there it is. Mr. Bobby Lee is on the podcast. We FaceTimed. Didn't even Skype this time. FaceTimed. I'm getting the tech worked out. Now, there's still going to be some technical issues. Now, last week it was my sound. In the beginning, it was echoey. This time, my sound is going to go out of sync. I know what it is. It's a frames per second thing with the two different recordings because I'm recording him and I'm recording me. I didn't do the shit right, but future episodes is going to be good. As you can see right now, I got a new overlay, and that's Mr. Michael Hernandez. Shout out to you. Thanks for the work that you've done. And there's some other, he's helped me out with my Twitch channel too, which is Erik Griffin Gaming. And I'm also on YouTube, Erik Griffin Gaming. But anyways, here's another episode. I'm still trying to keep the content pumping out. I love talking to my good buddies, see how they're doing, and this is no exception. Ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome to the podcast, my good buddy, Mr. Bobby Lee. Enjoy.
Yeah, the glasses ain't gonna fucking work.
Yeah. Glasses ain't gonna work, bro. It's good, though. I got you. We already started. This is a different one, so I'm going to do an intro by myself. So here we are. Mr.
Look
Bobby
your
Lee.
forearms.
What? Why are you? Okay, get it. You know what? Get it all out. Just talk all your shit you're going to talk.
No,
get it out.
No, because I like observing you. That's all.
You like observing me?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just a nightmare, man. Why? Why are you such a nightmare to me? So Kalila draws a piece of shit with a mustache on it. It's clearly you, and you have to tell all of America hiding at home on quarantine that it looks like me.
Right, but can I say this?
Please.
As soon as I said that, David Spade texted me and went, ha, 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 I like the Erik Griffin joke. So,
hence why Lights Out was canceled, because you were on it. You know, you're like that.
You know, it's so funny that you say that. It's like
you're such a curse.
If my appearance canceled that show, then that's me. That's me. That's who I am.
Oh man, how you holding up though, dude? You know, you are. We talk shit about each other, but you are one of my dearest friends.
Yeah, how am I holding up?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I like it because there's a lot of comedians that generally don't text me or have any kind of, exchange with me ever.
Right.
And they've reached out and asked how I'm doing. So that feels good, I guess. So
yeah, that's
a positive. Secondly, I get to eat things that generally I don't eat. Like, for instance, Illuminati's pizzas, we get them delivered from Chicago, these frozen pizzas.
Right.
6 packs. So every other day is a pizza day for me. So that's a good thing. And then the third thing is that, I haven't really had time to catch up on certain video games like The Witcher.
Oh, wow.
Like, I never played The Witcher.
How is that?
Fun.
Yeah, I wanted to get that too. Ever since that, did you see the series?
No, that's why. I mean, I knew that the series was coming out or it's out, and I was like, I should play the game. I really like the game. It's fun. I've been also playing this other thing called Horizon something or another that was a PS4 hit back in the day.
Oh, so you never got the Xbox out? You're still playing on the PS4?
Yeah, I have a PS4. The reason why I don't want to get my Xbox is because I know that I'll get sucked into
other games,
your world with my brother.
Hey, I have a PS4. We can get FIFA and play FIFA on PS4 or whatever you want, man. Or like whatever we get. Yeah, just get games. Are you
following me on PS4?
I don't have your PS4 name, but I'll get it at
Live.
All right, yeah, same thing. Yeah, I'm Erik Griffin. Yeah, let's play some games, man. That stuff is fun. We don't got to play the ones that make us yell, even though we just get super competitive when we play.
What else are you playing? That's
I'm playing Modern Warfare. I just love that game. You know,
so are you playing it on Xbox or PlayStation?
It's actually cross-platform, which is pretty dope. It is free. It's a free game.
It's called Modern Warfare.
Yeah, but it's just like that battle royale stuff, like Fortnite. You know.
Oh, so we have to kill each other?
Yeah. Or we could be on the same team. I mean, I would like to kill you, but be on the same team is good.
Yeah.
I know, but I don't know. I've been playing that. I've still been playing Destiny. I've been playing, they had this other game called, what's it called? I forgot all the games. They're all like Destiny. I've been playing those games. You know,
I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley as well.
That's what I hear. Apparently, all the internet knows about it because they keep every time I'm online, they go, "Why isn't Bobby playing this game? He's playing that Star."
I just like
You like loner by yourself.
I like simulation games. I like building things. I like designing certain things.
Right.
I like having a farm and being able to like have it work, accordingly. And
you got me hooked on Sims. That fucking Sims game.
I don't like Sims. I like I think I like farming simulation games.
Oh, but that they have that on PS4, or you've been playing that on your phone?
They have it on every platform. You can get it on. Yeah, you can get it.
Have you ever played Minecraft?
I've thought about it. I just don't know much about it. I
don't know much about it either, and the graphics are so shit.
I know,
but apparently people go crazy for it. All the building and stuff, and I put it on my computer. I started to play a little bit, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a little bougie about that kind of stuff, so I don't know. But I'm still playing. My PS4 is sitting right on my desk. I can hook. What I love about the PS4 and the Xbox, it's the same cord. You can just take the power cord out and put it in the other one. And all that, so you could just have them right there.
Let's talk about
what you want to talk about.
Let's talk about what you think. Let's talk about what is going to happen in the next 2 or 3 months. You think? Dude, especially let's talk about in the comedy business.
Well, first of all, what we learned from that comedy thing that you did yesterday is that comedy actually might be dead. Like you were great. You were being yourself, but I think a lot of people are finding out that comedians without an audience, microphone, or lights and cameras, they might not be as engaging as they think they are. Bobby, move to your right a little bit. Yeah, like that. Perfect. Yeah, they might. So I don't know. I think we're gonna have to try to reinvent what comedy is and how it's presented. In the next 2 or 3 months, unless they come up with a vaccine, because our going to live performances, it's not going to come back until this is stopped.
That's scary.
It is scary. It's scary to think like the Comedy Store, even someplace like the Staples Center or like a Whiskey Go-Go, or like think of all these iconic places on Sunset, that the Laugh Factory that they house people, that they can't do that anymore. And I don't know when it's going to come back. And it's scary. I find myself going stir crazy with not having that outlet. That's why I love doing the podcast. I love being. I feel creative.
Here's the thing about the podcast world, though, and I have some gripes. I have to say. Okay,
tell me, please.
All right, so some of us, and some of us were almost forced into doing podcasts out of survival.
Right.
All right. So for me, I had always had big dreams of doing big Hollywood things, right?
Yeah.
But it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out. I've been on sitcoms.
That's kind of like you. That's kind of like the podcast you were going to do with me. It just didn't work out. But I get it. Go on. You wanted to do big Hollywood things, so you got a white guy. But I understand. Let's go. Let's continue with what you're saying.
You want to get that out? Let's get that out of the way. Let's get that resentment out of the way, because it's I think it's interfering with a lot of our relationship. I don't like.
All right. You know what? Let's get it out of the way. This is my only gripe, Bobby.
All right.
I wish you would have just told me that you didn't want to do the podcast with me. Okay. I wish you would have just said that.
God damn, you fucking idiot.
I wish you would have just said, you know what?
Fucking idiot.
It was going to go better. It's more conducive if I do it with Santino. He's got a bigger following, and then together we could do this. I would have been fine with that. But you came at me like, oh, we're gonna do it, and then next thing you know, you're not gonna do it, and then you tried to use your father's death and to guilt me into like being okay with it. I wish you would have just been straight up with me. Just be straight up with me. I would have been so much more happy. I would have been like, okay, I get it. You don't think I get it? You don't think I get it? Huh?
You're so wrong about this.
Okay, tell me. Tell me.
Okay. This is what you have to know about me. All right?
Okay.
I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do any of it. And that's the honest truth. You know that. That's why I don't want to do anything with anybody. Okay? So here's the thing. Is that there are just certain people that are so aggressive that I respond to. And the way Andrew came to me, and he was relentless. Okay,
okay, I get it.
So
he strong-armed you into this podcast?
That's basically what it was. He strong-armed me into the situation. And the thing is and you and I have a different kind of banter, right?
Yeah.
You're not as aggressive. You're more
loving, caring.
And loving and caring. So it you know what I mean? I was almost coerced into doing it.
Well, again,
like all kinds of
if you would have just said that to me, if you would have just said
this now, you fucking
I know,
idiot.
But like you've had me go through all this stuff, and then I got to hear all this.
I'm telling you right now, you fucking face.
Okay, all right.
Let's coerced into it.
We're on to get
something.
It's squashed. Okay, I'm just telling you, it's squashed.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. That's all I fucking wanted. It does. It does. You heard it here first. Bobby Lee apologizes.
Let's go to all right. So I was
comedy. Go on.
Podcasting. Right?
Podcasting. Yes, let's go with that.
Some of us comics, right, have been forced, and I did podcasting because I think it was a skill set that I was okay. I'm kind of honest and forthright.
You're great at it. You can say that. I'll say it. You're great at it.
And I had guested on a lot of podcasts, and people have said, "Oh, Bobby Lee is okay at this," So I knew that it was a skill set that I could take advantage, and I did a podcast because of the fact. First of all, that Kalila, right, is the one that wanted to do the podcast. TigerBelly started because she wanted to do her podcast. She started it, and then
she also told me how she don't want to do a podcast with me. She told me too, but she was honest to my face.
My point though being is that so I do a podcast because I wanted to help my road numbers, and also it's something that I was kind of I had to do it to survive. But now you see a lot of these guys doing it. It's like because it's the cool thing to do.
Yeah.
Right, and it's like I want to say, stay in your fucking lane,
bro.
Stay in your fucking lane, please. Right, but
dude, I know what you're saying,
and then I have to play nice. I have to go. Oh, congratulations, you have one too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Well, the thing is, like you were saying earlier, the question you asked about, like, where do you think the state of comedy is going to be in 2 or 3 months? I mean, I think all this stuff's going to get weeded out. I mean, it's just like all the online. Listen. Just because you have a podcast doesn't mean people are going to listen to it. It's hard for me to even get people to come to my podcast when it's just me. So I do all kinds of different things. And I started a podcast for similar reasons. It was like everybody was doing it. You were doing it, and then I went on Rogan's podcast, and like, it's the first time I ever got bonuses at the Irvine Improv the weekend after doing Rogan. And I was like, oh, so this is real. And so I was kicking myself like, I wish I would have started it earlier. And now that this is going on, I'm so glad I started it when I did. Because the whatever little money that comes in for this for me, it's going to keep me afloat until we figure out what the fuck's going on in the world. But a lot of people who weren't even necessarily whatever we want to call making it in stand-up, so now they're like really scrambling. Now they're like,
my problem isn't with those people.
Oh, got you. It's with the people.
My problem is with the dudes that have already made it.
Oh.
Right.
Right. I get it.
Out of boredom, now they're like.
And let's just say Maybe one of them could be Asian, but I'm not saying that he is.
No, first of all, no.
And he
Fuck
and the
you.
other, and
That's
he
not
might
what
have
I'm
a
saying.
partner.
Fuck you. I'm going to turn this off. You want me to turn this off? I'm not saying that. I don't even know who the fuck you're talking about.
Oh yeah, I don't know who you're talking about either.
You want me to turn this off? How do you turn this off?
No.
All right. It has nothing to do. What the fuck are you talking about?
I get it. Like famous people
I'm
that.
gonna turn this off.
No, just go on.
Return?
We're not going to do it.
What if
Go.
I press return?
Just
What
stop.
happens?
Just stop. Just
right,
keep
stop.
going.
I will turn. I will turn this off.
I
All right. I will turn this off.
see no evil, hear no evil.
Fuck you. I don't know what you're doing. All right.
I'm not doing
It
anything.
has nothing to do with anything.
Okay.
It's not even just. It's trust me. Imagine. I know actors, right?
Uh-huh.
A lot of actors are, and a lot of them are my friends, right?
I get it.
And it's a broad thing. It's like
I know the comedy
I just want to
community.
say, can you just please? Because then what happens is they're gonna get into this game, and then no one's gonna listen to our shit, and then we have to figure something else out.
No, I know what you're saying though. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of like, remember like 10 years ago when all those like actors started doing stand up. And then they were taking the spots at the clubs, and you know what I mean. Yeah. So now they're doing that.
Here's another point: is that all right? So when Vine happened,
yeah,
right, and people were getting followers on Vine, like Will Sasso, my friend, was a big Brittany Furlan, a friend of mine.
Yeah, my friend of mine too. Yeah.
I didn't do it because I'm like, you know what? I jumped on this bandwagon way too late, right? They're the kings of this domain, right? And I'm going to stay in my fucking lane.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the thing. Stay in your fucking lane, but they don't.
I know.
And they're not going to. And then they're going to, and it's going to, it's going to change. This thing is going to change,
Well, and then now it's just, I don't know, the market seems to be, it's going to be so saturated with, but I think there's enough. The internet is so vast. YouTube. There's so many different channels on YouTube. I mean, there's people on YouTube that get millions of views that have nothing to do with comedy and podcasting or anything like that. But they have channels that get millions of views that dwarf anything that like some comics do. So it doesn't matter. There's enough space for everybody. I mean, you really think it's going to take up the space?
I'm trying to say. There's a lot of space.
Yeah.
I'm supportive of everybody.
Do you miss doing stand-up?
Yeah, you know what I miss is and I didn't think I would ever miss this, but I miss even seeing my enemies. I miss seeing the drama. I miss seeing, I miss showing up at the store, pulling up, and saying hi to my friends. And, and us going out to eat afterwards, and that whole thing.
Just human interaction.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. I think that this event, this pandemic, is going to change a lot of attitudes in the comedy world. I think that like there are people that, like Mark Maron, for instance, who I love, and he's friends with him, but he's not one of the kind of guys that would text me to see. It's like if I had cancer, I don't know if he would text me, but he has been reaching out. How are you doing? And this and that.
Yeah.
It's like I think that there's a lot of people that it's softening people, and it's kind of uniting us. And
I remember you called me like 2 days in a row, and I was kind of like, "Whoa, this is different," but I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get it. I mean, it's just one of these things where, like, I used to say all the time, the people think the phone is enough. Like young people think like, oh, we're connected with our Snapchat and our Twitter and all this stuff, but it's literally not enough. And now they're seeing it. I see these like rich celebrities, like rappers, and they're in their big mansion and they're tweeting out like, I'm so bored. And I'm like, damn, even from the outside, people would see those people and think they have everything. But these people are missing the thing that we all need. We're communal creatures. And now we're trying to not kill our loved ones that are close to us.
Yeah.
And that is fucking hard. Yeah. But I've made an adjustment because Rachel's with me, and it's just like, it at first it was like, I was like, whoa, I don't know if I could do this.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to live with you either.
Yeah. That's what she says. I know.
That's not even.
What are you talking about?
That wasn't even funny.
No, but I would.
Like,
You act like you're a dream.
There's no way I would be able to fucking live with you.
Oh my god, this
All your
guy.
little curly black hairs all over the fucking place. Oh my god.
What are you talking about? You know, my hair and your hairs, you wouldn't even be able to know the difference.
No,
just one smells like kimchi. You know.
Hey, fuck you. Gotta bring food into it, bitch. Yeah, you know. But my worry is just as a society as a whole, and hey, what'd you think of Trump retweeting Joe Rogan?
He did? I didn't even see that.
Today.
He retweeted.
Donald Trump retweeted 4 or 5 Joe Rogan things because, and I don't have an opinion about this.
Well, it sounds like you have an opinion.
I don't have an opinion.
Well, what did Joe say? Oh, you know what?
Basically said that I would tend to maybe vote for Trump over Biden.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Trump retweeted.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
I wonder how Joe feels about that. He must be like,
I mean, if you look at Joe's tweets, he hasn't really mentioned anything. So
because you have to be silent now. Now it's like, oh, that's why Andy Kindler was talking shit about Joe Rogan. I was wondering why. I was actually going to text Joe and be like, did you and Andy Kindler have like a fight? And now I get it. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. When I saw the I'll be honest with you, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, is Biden the best nominee that we can have?
I know what you're saying.
Does he have some shady history? Yeah. Is he a part of the establishment? Yeah. Is he a better choice? Maybe. But you know, but Rogan has a big influence.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He has a huge audience, and that was a significant thing.
I think it was.
I think it's
because I think it's going to embolden. To me, there is a certain crowd that also follows Joe that, let's say, is not left at all. You know what I mean?
But that's fine. Yeah,
and it's fine. And it's totally fine. Yeah. And I'm not talking shit about these people at all. But I'm just saying, it's like, but they're now gonna be like, oh, let me be louder with my voice now. It's like, you know, if this guy that I follow and I learn a lot of things from, and he has a lot of smart people on his podcast, and I love listening to this guy, and he just said something that some people believe. Now they're gonna be like, oh yes, now let's us speak out even more. So I don't know.
But you know what drives me crazy more than that is there are some lefties, you know, on Instagram, on Twitter, and whatnot, saying, "Well, who's Joe Rogan anyway?"
I know now, right?
Fuck you.
Now, all of a sudden,
oh, really? Yeah. He's the biggest podcast on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Right? He's got millions of followers on Instagram. Go fuck yourself. Yeah.
Well, you know,
it is a significant thing.
Well, a lot of the hypocrisy too of like what's going on with the quarantine and everything too is like, I'm just like, it's so layered, but then you have these people out here talking about like stay at home, all right? And then they're on their high horse about stay at home, right? But these same people are ordering Amazon as if those people that work at grocery stores and are coming to your place, they don't have families. They shouldn't stay home either. So it's like, don't be like, well, we should all stay at home, and then also be ordering every other week stuff to your place.
Yeah, but Eric, people have to survive, right?
I understand, but that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, don't take a certain position because it's layered. Like I think in some cases people should shut their mouth. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if like constantly talking about, you know, stay home, but then you're order. It's like, let's also remember that there are other people out there that you need empathy and support and love too.
In our household, we don't order every day. Obviously, you know, like for instance, you know, this is not a good thing, but I've gone back to smoking cigarettes, which is not a good thing, and I want to quit. Okay,
you really need to, especially with this thing, respiratory system. You're like, come on, man.
Oh, that's why I'm being very precautious, because I feel like I'm one of those guys that if I get it, I'm going to die. And I know you and I have had that argument before that you said you wouldn't die.
Hey, you know what? We're making jokes. Listen, we're making jokes about that. No, I didn't say that. But here's the thing: is it affects everybody differently, man.
I know.
You know, it just there's no like there's people that are like super healthy that got really really sick, and then there's some people that are like not really healthy and they only got like smell and taste, so it affects people differently. You know what I mean?
You and I get it. We die. Fuck you. You and I get it. We die. Okay.
God, piece of shit.
I don't care what fucking health supplements you're taking and what fucking vitamins and what health.
Yeah, I'm being healthy. I'm eating healthy.
What are you talking
about? You haven't seen how I slimmed down, you piece of shit?
It's like,
oh wow, you really have to be like this? You can't give me one. You can't say one nice thing about me, huh? Look how hard it is for you to be like.
I can say nice things. You're a hilarious guy.
Oh my goodness,
you're a nice
dude.
guy. You're a giver.
You know what?
Giver.
You know what? Rachel and I do this thing where we call a foul. You know, you say something fucked up, you go foul, and now you have to say two nice things about the other person.
No, I'm not playing these gay games with you.
We have to do this. You and I need to be doing this.
I'm not playing foul games with you.
Technical foul on the lead.
No. All right. So if we both get it, we die.
Oh God. That. Okay. Well, I'm staying home. I'm not going to get it.
But that being said, I smoke, and that's why when I do like every other week. We put on our mask, we put the gloves on, we go to 7-Eleven, do a thing so that I can get, cigarettes.
I get it. I get it.
I don't do it every day, so I make sure that I get so much, right? Enough to last me for a couple of weeks.
Right.
So you have to be mindful about.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
How much are you using? Yeah,
I'm just saying, be mindful of like the things that you're saying too. That just the internet could be a toxic place, and now we're just on it all the time. You know what I mean? Listen, I don't want this whole thing to be like so morbid and all that kind of stuff too. I mean,
we're not. That's what's great about podcasts. We want to be real, and we want to talk about what. There's nothing funny about nothing.
Yeah. I was gonna, I was also gonna talk to me about what you're watching. I wanted to know what things you're catching up on. What have you seen? Have you been watching them? Because I know you're Mr. Documentary. Have you been watching some of these documentaries?
I saw the Tiger thing.
Yeah, you didn't like it.
No, I loved it. But it's not the best series I've ever seen. I think when you and I saw Making a Murderer, that was more conversational, and
I think it affected. We had a visceral, like just emotional effect that had on us. But when we look back on that, like what is it now, 5-6 years later?
Yeah.
And to know that isn't the kid still in jail?
Yeah.
And then the other guy's still in jail. So it told me that my faith in documentaries started to waver, because if all that evidence that was presented in that documentary in the way that it was presented, for those people to still be in jail, we don't know all the information.
Yeah, but it did. The documentaries did help. The Wichita 3 or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
The Salem
HBO,
whatever.
What?
Right. I know the one you're talking about. Those guys.
Original HBO documentaries, and then also Peter Jackson produced one. Those boys are out. So documentaries do have a power. But
I think that they start a conversation, and then in that particular case, they actually found the killer. So that's that's a little different. I mean, with that Making a Murder, I mean, it'd be different.
They never found the killer of the.
No, but they found. Yeah, they did. They found evidence that they found some evidence that
no one was ever charged for it.
All right, I get what you're saying, but they found enough circumstantial evidence to point to someone else that it was like like the thing with Making a Murderer is like. Like if the girlfriend's like in Bahamas right now, quarantine, and they catch her at a store, then I would love to see that, because it doesn't make any sense. And there's so many things about that documentary that I still think about, and I go, but it makes me mad because, like I said, I think that they left out they told a story, they had a narrative, and we bought it. You know what I mean?
I'd like to express to your viewers my favorite documentary is.
Please,
in the last 10 or 15 years, if I may.
Go ahead.
Do you ever see The Imposter?
Is that the one where the guy, somebody was kidnapped, and then he comes back and says that it's him?
Yeah.
I saw that one. That shit.
Real good.
Oh, man. But when you start to look at it, you go, he don't look nothing like. It was crazy that they believed
really
it.
All right, here's my second recommendation. Dear Zachary.
I haven't seen that one. I'll watch it, though.
Oh my God, Erik! I implore you
I
to
will.
watch Dear Zachary. Your fat little heart will break.
Why does it got to be fat? I'm just curious.
Heart.
Foul.
I'm sorry.
That's
Your
another
heart.
foul for you. See what I'm saying?
All right,
You're another foul for
two
you.
Good things about you.
You have to say two
nice
good things about
titties.
me.
You have nice chocolate titties and you have nice chocolate tits.
No. The part of the rules is it can't be about your looks. You have to say something about my personality and how
your personality is chocolatey.
Okay, I'm trying to find this other.
Is that
okay,
racist? I'm so sorry. I want to change. I'm so sorry. That's
you have to change. Jesus Christ, man!
Sorry.
What if I do get sick and I'm what are you gonna do?
Me. It would fucking destroy me.
Oh God!
If you died, that would.
I have a documentary for you.
What about if I died?
If you died, it would be very sad. You know what I mean? I would be sad.
How sad?
It would be sad. And I would take over TigerBelly with Kalila and.
No. It's over. It'll be all the dream.
Kalila and I would just keep it going in your honor. You know what I mean?
I have some more documentaries if you don't mind.
I have one. Can I give you one that I like?
Ahead.
I just saw it. I wanted to get the title right. How to Fix the Drug Scandal. Have you seen that one on Netflix?
No.
Bro, this is about the drug inspector that works for the police. She was a drug addict. Okay? Uh-huh. Two of them. This one, she was a drug addict, and she was taking the drugs. And she was so she was falsifying the drug reports on all these cases while she was taking the drugs, and then for like 10, 12, 13 years, and they ended up letting out like 35,000 drug offenders because it nullified all that stuff. I mean, it's just crazy. And what the lawyer lawyer was talking about what he was going through.
That's what I would do. Imagine me as a pharmacist.
Oh God.
We ran out of OxyContin.
Yeah.
It's gone.
You're like, there's no more
we don't know
of
when
that.
the next shipment's coming.
That's exactly how it was.
So that's on Netflix?
That's on Netflix. You have to watch it. Come, give me another one.
Capturing the Freedmans. It's old school.
Capturing the Freedmans. Is that on Netflix?
Oh, no. I don't know where you can see it, but it's a fucking classic. Write it down. Capturing the Freedmans. It's so sensational and so good. You're going to love it.
I'm going to check that one out too. Did you see an Aaron Hernandez one?
Oh, yeah.
Some of these...
I don't think he did it.
You know what I'm noticing about a lot of these documentaries is they're so sad. Like this Tiger King one, like I was like, all of these people are terrible. Like there wasn't anyone in that documentary that like, except for the Asian girl that got her arm bitten off.
She wasn't fucking Asian, you fucking idiot.
Well, she was Asian-y, you know what I mean? Like Filipino.
She's like Indian or something.
She like Filipino, you know what I mean?
American Indian, you piece of shit.
Anyways, she just looked, whatever, that poor girl who got her arm bitten off, she was the only one that had some sense. And the one guy that left his wife at the end, he was the other guy that I thought, these two people seemed to be okay, but everyone else was just like criminals and cult leaders and sex addicts and drug addicts, and like it was just crazy.
I didn't see it that way.
Really? How did you see it?
I found them to be very interesting characters.
Oh yes, fascinating.
And also they're authentically being themselves. And I think that they have a lot of like flaws, obviously.
To say the least.
A lot of flaws, but I think that some of those flaws that we can relate to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know I found it to be, but I didn't
they were like comics,
sensational as other people found it.
No, I found them to be like, I thought they were all like cult leaders, you know? Like,
that's what they were, yeah.
Like, let's say that they weren't doing the tiger shit, or they could have been like the most dynamic plumbers or like church people or even comedians. I mean, imagine like we know comedians that are like very charismatic and have a lot of like followers, have a lot of people, like they just were like these fascinating characters, and they were all the same too.
Like CD.
Yeah.
Just like CD.
Yeah, he's
that
having
dude right there, CD.
I wonder.
People may not know who I'm talking about. All right, but that fucker CD. In any other time period,
yeah,
he would have been a fucking cult leader.
Yeah, he would have been Jim Jones.
Something even weirder.
Yeah, man, I agree. He would have had like a combine someplace. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
What else? Comics? Brian Callen.
Yeah,
cult leader.
Yeah, well, look at Joe Rogan. Joe is like, his thing that he has easily could be at a church in Utah. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
or
they're just charismatic.
Yeah, just
people,
charismatic. And like, so these guys in that documentary were very much like that. They just were like, even Carol Baskin, she herself was a cult leader. She has, you know,
they all essentially are the same people.
That Bobby,
they're essentially
all the same. Her
and that's
too.
What makes it fascinating to me.
Yes, it was very fascinating.
Yeah.
Give me another one. I like to hear what documentaries. 'Cause I'm trying to. I need so many recommendations because I've gone through. I'm just going through shit like this, and I watched all of season 3 of what's the Jason Bateman one? I watched that already.
Yeah, Ozark.
Ozarks. I watched Ozarks already. I'm watching Hunters right now on Amazon. That's really good with Al Pacino.
Jordan Peele's show.
Yeah. Oh, is that a Jordan Peele show?
Yeah.
Oh shit. God, another show he didn't put you on, right?
But he's another one that's been texting me a lot during this.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna be like, I got a project for you, but we're quarantined, so I can't. It's the perfect time to reach out.
Here's the thing with that. I honestly, I'm a specific type of person to cast in something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like you can fit me into certain things. It has to be very specific. So, I do have a lot of friends, and so do you, have a lot of friends that do big projects and stuff that, sometimes we might, they go, how come they didn't call us or whatever?
Right.
But you have to think that it's like, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me, although you might fit in the same category.
Here we go. Backhanded compliment.
No, it's I'm a specific
I get it
type of a guy, what I mean? And I can't really play a lot of things. I don't think that people I think that I can, but
I look at I was sometimes when I'm just bored and I'm going through these Netflix, like I look at I go to the series and then I see like there are so many series on Netflix that are new. 2019, 2020. And I look at them and I go, why didn't I go out for some of these? You know what I mean? There's just so many.
But without, the thing is that in many ways, I've thought about that too. And it's so saturated. Does it matter?
Yeah, I know what you mean. For sure. Because only certain things hit. I mean, like look at how many documentaries are on Netflix that don't get like, sometimes they hit, like Tiger King hit, right?
Yeah.
But there's other ones that you go, that was way better, but it just doesn't. So I know what you're saying.
The one thing I almost got, Stranger Things.
Oh.
I don't want to get into it. It'll make me not angry, but it's a little disappointing. But
it's disappointing, yeah.
I went in and read a couple of times, and they wanted me for one part, didn't work out or whatever, and
right.
It didn't happen. But so it's like that one hurt. But there are a lot of things that I went out for, and then it came out that I didn't get. And in many ways, I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't get that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or it's like there's so many things that like I know a lot of people that are in a lot of series that don't have a lot of money and that are still trying to figure out what the next thing is.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. So I don't really take those things personally. It's like
yeah, of course. But you want to work though. You're creative,
dude.
You just want to work.
I know you've worked with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
You've worked with Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
You were on that Showtime show.
Uh-huh.
You and I did a movie with Sean Austin.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah,
and,
so
Mia Sorvino.
Yeah, we've done a lot. I've done my share of a lot of movies and things. So it's like, I've had my shot. I've been on series. And I'm okay with where my life is.
Yeah, well, that's good. Do you feel coming off of everything that has happened in the past few months, with the death of your father and the rehab and now this quarantine? I mean, do you feel like you're at a different place in your life? I mean, do you feel different than you were 6 months ago? Because you seem different, Bobby. I'm telling you. You don't want to talk about it
in one fucking way.
You feel more connected. You feel more present. Like you just like when you're in the hallways, you're like you don't have this as manic of energy as you had before, where you'd be like zipping around all over the place. I see you taking a moment to like enjoy the surroundings and talking to people, and then you still leave because you still have a little bit of that. But I just feel like you're in a different place. I feel like you like turned a corner and now you're dealing a new chapter in your life.
Here's the thing. Rogan once told me, view your life. He said this maybe 7 months ago, like right when my dad died. He goes, view your life like you're in the star of your own movie, And so, I decided I'm going to deal with my dad's trauma. I'm going to get sober. This whole coronavirus thing. In the last 12 months of my life has been a fucking whirlwind.
Yeah.
So much has happened.
Yeah.
So much tragedy and so many good things and bad things. Show gets canceled. Dad died. Relapsed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Podcast is doing good. I mean, and then my show got sold at, I sold the show. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the coronavirus. I don't know what's going to happen, but you know what? This is life. And it's like, I'm just, if I didn't live the kind of life that I live, like a lot of people don't experience much because they don't take risks and they don't really go out there and go for it. And
yeah, people live in fear.
And because of the fact that, I don't know why I have no skills. I really don't. I don't know much about anything. I really don't know much about anything. I have no education. I've never read a book. But the one thing that I've always had, and I've had this since I was a kid, I think, is that I'm just willing to go and just try it. And so I'm living a pretty big life, and in life, not everything works out. In life, there's great things and bad things, but I'm just trying to stay in the moment to experience all of it. And at the end of the day, I think that if I did get the corona and I was dying, I think I would go, you know what? I did it. I did. I mean, it was incredible.
I hear you talking right now, and it's like, it's great. It's beautiful, Bobby. I'm saying, I don't know if we could have even had this conversation. Like, we couldn't have had this conversation, say, 8 months ago. You know what I mean? Look at you. Now you're trying to ruin it, but you can't. You already had the tender moment. I'm just going to cut all this out. Save that for Kalila, okay? That's
You like it, huh?
Ugh, you're the worst. But what do you think's going to go on in the next 3 months? You asked me, but what do you think? I felt like you have a.
I think the quarantine is going to be longer than we think. I think it should be. I think that if we're a little premature about this thing and we don't nip it in the bud, that it could show its ugly face again. So I think that we should wait to see if there's some sort of vaccination that they can come up with.
Yeah.
Or, the number of cases have to dwindle substantially.
Yeah, and they have to have the testing needs to be readily available. Like it needs to be like you can go to CVS, you put something on your tongue, and then it says you have corona, and then to go quarantine. It's like it has to be like the testing and
why don't we just all just pretend we have it and just fucking quarantine yourself?
But no, because they have to have the testing so they can track it. Like the testing is just as important as the quarantine.
Yeah, I know, I get it, but let's just act as a society that maybe everyone has it, and let's just fucking stay in our houses for 2 or 3 months. Let it fucking pass. But let me say something. When people are still going to churches in these large gatherings that they're doing in Georgia or wherever, Florida, right? And they're allowing certain beaches to be open. They're it's like, dude, Florida just did the shutdown 2 or 3 days ago.
I know.
So it's like, as a country, we have to.
It's hard. It's hard when we're not getting like a definite message from the top.
But I know, but that's the thing. It's like, first of all, when you downplay, I'm not saying Trump, I'm not saying his administration, but what I'm saying is that when certain people and certain news organizations are saying, downplaying this thing as the common flu. You know what I mean? Some people, it's nothing, you know? And they did that for a month and a half, right? Calling it a hoax, right? If I'm not saying I would have done a better job as a president, but what I'm saying is that we needed somebody in January to go, all right, this thing in China is going on in Wuhan, right? It's spreading to Korea, right? Because that's where it went, right? Italy's, you know what I mean? There's some signs in Italy. We needed a guy to go, listen, this thing,
shut it down.
We have to shut it down now.
Yeah.
We shut it down now.
Bobby,
right?
why is all this stuff?
That's not what fucking happened.
Why does all this stuff always starting in Asian countries? Why? SARS, bird flu, the HN9, whatever one, Corona. Why is it? Tell me.
You want to get canceled, huh? Is that what you want?
I'm asking, why is it?
You want to get canceled?
I'm just wondering.
I'll help get canceled right now.
I just thought if you had any thoughts on it. Do you have any thoughts of that a lot of these viruses they seem to originate?
Okay, is it? Oh, really? So you think that these viruses are starting in Japan?
I don't know. I'm just wondering.
No,
it's not Japan.
No, you think that they're starting?
It's not Korea.
Where's it starting?
China.
You said it. You said it, not me.
You trying to get canceled?
Yeah, I didn't say it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you read how North Korea said they don't have a problem with Corona?
They might not.
No, but then they got help from the UN or something. It's like some kind of aid that they got. But
I'm going to have to lay down a bit.
That's fine.
Is this okay?
Yeah, it's good. You look good. Yeah, I just I don't know, man. I
don't know. I mean, it's like, I don't know exactly how it started. I think it has something to do with food.
Yeah, places that don't have grades on their restaurants.
Right, and I think
I
don't know. I'm not, what I mean? I'm not a scientist, and I don't know.
Me neither. We're
much
just
about it. But
guys just with opinions. Yeah,
right? People are eating things that
they shouldn't eat.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If it's not at a sit down Applebee's in Wuhan, if it was you know what I mean? If it was at the Applebee's in Wuhan and then somebody came out of there ooh, I don't feel well, that's one thing. But it's
if you go to a market in China, for instance, in a rural area, right? You can see things that generally butterfly wings and you know what I mean, the shoulder of a meerkat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. Or things that are
yeah. You see people shopping. Can I get a half pound of meerkat and
yeah.
Are those bat testicles? Can I have
yeah. How about you have marsupial eyeballs?
Dude,
no, and they're like,
I got a
no, we got the brain. No, we got the brain.
I got a documentary for you. Actually, you have to watch this one.
What
Pandemic. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I know. I saw. I didn't want to.
Oh, but dude, they talk about this. That all these flus come from animals.
Yeah.
They talk. It's just a fascinating thing that they're saying that this happened. This shit came out. They were predicting what's happening now. They're like, there will be another major flu. There will have to be all the things they talk about.
But wasn't HIV from cutting down the rainforest, right? Dude, and then the virus, they were in monkeys, but they somehow jumped into humans because we're cutting down the rainforest.
Dude, I haven't. You think I know?
Why
would I know? What racist thing are you going to say right now? Do you want to get canceled?
I know. I don't want to get canceled. That's another thing. Is it's that fear of getting canceled.
I know. Well, hey, you know what? You know who you should look to for inspiration for getting canceled and coming back? Ooh. See Louis. He just came out with a special.
Yeah.
And a lot of comics are tweeting about it. Hey, it's
Is it good? Did you see it?
I haven't seen it because I'm not paying for it.
Right. Where is it at?
I think it's on his website.
Oh, on his website?
And and I think it's genius to be people are starving for, streaming entertainment because they're stuck inside, and then people are in the privacy of their own home, so they can't be like shamed. If you want to buy it, you buy it. You just look around like, you put the credit card information in, and you have the Louis special at home. They can't even track it.
That's a really interesting thing because no, I'm not condoning what he did.
Right.
By all means, is it the worst thing I've ever heard? No.
Right.
Right? Is it? It's not the worst thing you've ever heard.
It's not the worst thing you ever heard, but it's
you know what?
But let's say this though. Let's be aware that we are men, so the feelings and stuff that it inspires in victims of that kind of stuff, we may not understand it, and that's why we could talk about it like this.
And I'm fully aware of that, and I'm empathetic to that, and I get it. Okay, but when that happened, he was probably the best comic on planet Earth.
Right.
Right. And I'm not saying
maybe. Uh-huh.
I mean, one of them.
Yeah. He was yes. He would
top
be considered.
5. Top 5.
Yeah.
He really was.
Yeah. For sure.
He was one of those guys that, like, even when it's like when Adam Egget. Adam Egget, the Comedy Store booker. He's one of my very good friends. I love him so. Don't you love him?
I love him, and I had to text him and be like, "Oh, so you can go on." He told me he doesn't do podcasts. Next thing you know, I see him on Santino's podcast.
I know you have a weird thing of resentment and anger. Shut the fuck up.
No, because he told me himself.
Let it go.
He said, "I'm not gonna. I can't do podcasts."
You fucking sad little bitch. Okay.
Oh wow. See how you are?
No, I want you to grow up. Fucking grow balls and balls. But Adam Egget, there are certain comics that he'll wait in the parking lot, and then when they arrive, he personally
will walk them
around with them
to bump everybody,
and not only that, he'll ask what they need, and just kind of be there like bitch for and Louis was one of those guys.
Yeah, he was. Louis, Spade,
and Chappelle is one of those guys.
Yeah,
Chris Rock is one of those guys. So he was.
But Chris Rock turned out to be Chris Rock just ended up being just real cool. Like Chris Rock will just be walking through the hallway.
One of the best guys. He's such a nice guy.
He's just walking through the hallway with his hat on, and people don't even realize. They don't even. They're just like, oh shit, isn't that Chris Rock?
There's nothing. Chris Rock is a real comedian. He really is. He's like one of those guys he'll say hi to you just because he knows that you're in the game.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have. I could name somebody. I'm not going to, but there's some. There is a guy at that level that will pretend that he doesn't even know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, I can't stand that kind of shit. I can't stand it.
And who else is like that? Chappelle is like that. Chappelle is very, hey man, let's take a selfie. Or he's just like a nice guy, right? There's just certain ones though that.
I know what you mean.
But Louis is Louis was one of those guys, and he has that skill level. So it's just really interesting to me that I don't know what's going to happen to him, but does he have every right to put a special out on his own website? Yeah, it's America.
And that's the way you should do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, so he's like, okay, these people say they don't like me, or I don't just, okay, don't like me. He filmed it in front of a live audience, so people came to watch it, and then he put it out on his site. That's how it should be done.
It's so funny. I want to say that a lot of comics, and we know there's certain comics that are anointed by Netflix. Just hear me out, okay? And it's almost is the feeling of being anointed to being invited to a specific club is a feeling of being wanted, but people
accepted.
But the thing is that at the end of the day, we can just do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Put it out on our own thing. But there's some reason or another that we want to be validated by the gatekeepers, the ones that, I want to be invited to the cool club. Like when I was in Montreal last year, Netflix had a party. I don't even know if I was invited.
Right.
But I just walked over with Howie Mandel because I know that I could get in with him.
Right.
Because he owns the festival. You know what I mean? So I walked over with Howie, and I walked in that thing, and I felt I literally felt like an open mic. No, I did. I felt like, oh, am I even good enough to be in here?
Yeah.
When at the end of the day, it's like my podcast crushes all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my following crushes theirs.
Yeah, it's for sure.
Right?
Like
but I'm not anointed by them. So, it already gives me this insecurity, which is like, why?
Because, by the way, dude, if you filmed a special and you released it on TigerBelly's YouTube page, and even Bad Friends YouTube page, it would get more views than any Comedy Central special that they've put out in a while, because they only put it on once and then they don't care about it.
But I want the validation.
I get it.
And I'll tell you why. I believe that I deserve it.
In the same way.
That sucks to say that, but I'm just as cool as them.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just as good. I'm just as cool. And I don't know why, but I want their validation.
Well, but it all comes down to like whoever's in charge at the time. Like look what happened over at Comedy Central. They literally got rid of everybody. So now it's a new regime. We'll see what they decide to do. And then all of a sudden now you're like trying to, it's like when Tommy was gone at the Comedy Store and then Adam came in, all those people that were making headways, it just all stopped. And now they had to start over. Well, it's the same thing at these other places. Like new people come in and they might have a different opinion about you or me or whoever else. Same thing can happen at Netflix,
Maybe.
I mean, it's like these gatekeepers it's not government assigned. You know what I'm saying? It's like just somebody got the job, somebody, did their thing, they got the job, and now when that person doesn't have that job anymore, then what does it mean? Does it mean now we are all of a sudden accepted because of what we've done? No, it's about that guy or girl. But
I want to say this is I love it. And the right reason why I love it is because I always want to feel like I'm fighting.
Yes.
I always want to feel like I'm up against the ropes and that I have something to prove and that like I'm going to show you. I need that.
That's that's how I am.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying that's how I get about when I'm saying like I feel that way even in smaller levels about things. I'm like I want people to come up. Like it's like when I get that way about being a guest on people's podcast.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about that. I feel that it's at this day and age, it's equal to Netflix. So there are certain people that have started podcasts and they're all big. I talk to these people. I see them in the hallways. I know that they're never going to have me on their podcast.
Name a name.
No, I'm not going to name a name.
Name a name.
Name those famous people that are starting podcasts that you don't want to talk about. You know what? We'll keep it in the comedy community.
That's what I tell younger comics too. I go, because when I bring openers on the road, I'm very lucky that I'm selling out every show and I'm adding shows, and so these kids open up for me and they go, "Oh my god, this is amazing! This is all I want." I go, "When you get here, it won't be that amazing."
Yeah,
and I tell them, I go, "You always take yourself with you, right? And the struggle is always there. So just wherever you're at, accept that and just be happy with that. Live in the moment." Because I'm going to say this, I do miss the early days.
I know what you mean.
There is something
like
about
that, when there's this huge goal that you're trying to accomplish, and it feels daunting, and it feels like I'm never going to do that. And then when you get it, you get there, you go, oh man, like okay. And then you're searching for something else to like fight for.
When I was a doorman at the La Jolla Comedy Store in 1996, all right. Somebody had vomited on if you go to the La Jolla Comedy Store, you have the main door that you walk through to go in the showroom, but you have those two other openings, right, where you can see the bar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody had vomited right there, right. So I was on my hands and knees, just trying to scoop this vomit into like this, whatever, a scooper.
Yeah.
And Paulie and Joe Rogan had walked in. There was some sort of benefit show or something. And Joe was young, but they had walked in. and they didn't even say excuse me. They just hopped over my body, right, while I was like scooping up this vomit, right. And I remember going, and they don't know, they don't say hi, they don't know me.
Yeah,
I'm just like this Gookie Gookerson fucking, you know what I mean, bar back. You know, they don't know I do comedy. They don't know nothing, right? I just remember feeling so humiliated, right? I also remember back there in that hallway, I did an open mic, and I remember seeing this kid with glasses, and he was receding his hair. He was a young, skinny kid, and he had this afro, right? He wasn't black. He was like, I thought he was Mexican at the time. And I remember seeing this guy. I go, "What's your name?" Because my name is Joe, and I live in Vegas. And we became good friends. It was Joe Coy.
Oh.
But I remember in 1996 meeting him and becoming friends with him back then, exchanging numbers. You know what I mean? And I just remember, like, if I would have known, I didn't know then, right? I didn't know then what would happen. But it's just like, there are just parts of that where I wish I could have just been more present, right?
Yeah.
And just enjoyed all those tiny little things, you know what I mean?
Well, it was like the first few years for me, like, you know, so when I got on Workaholics and I'm like doing all that shit, then it was like, you know, it was like you're trying to think like, oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Is this gonna? Then I treat it like sports. I treat it like football. So I go, I have my game Sunday, enjoy the win on Monday, and then Tuesday, that's when you start for the next thing. So I enjoy things that I do and the things that I have, but then I'm ready for the next game. You know, I'm ready for the next game.
I hated you when I first met you.
What? Why? What is there to hate?
You know how we met?
How?
I'm at the Med Show.
Oh,
in
dude!
Orange County.
Wait a minute. I put that out of my mind. You hated me.
I thought you were like
diva
a
piece of shit. What did I do? I had to deal with your diva bullshit. You were the most. I was gonna punch you in the face. I had to call. I was calling him. I said, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. What do I do? Because I had to go. Remember, I got your fucking car and drove it around. So you were so dramatic about the show.
Yeah, you should have driven around faster.
Oh, Jesus Christ! That's the story. You know what you did to me? You jumped over me. That's what that was. You were jumping over me while I was cleaning up your
had no idea who
drama.
Like, who is this fucking guy? I honestly did. I was like, is this guy a comedian even? Look at him.
Oh, my God.
And then when this is what happened. God showed me. And when we went to the Middle East.
I know, you got the Xbox. That's really what did it.
When I saw you perform. Because, you know, it was me, you, and Sebastian Maniscalco, and I was like, obviously I had to watch you perform, and I was just like going, oh, this guy's legit. Like, legit funny. Anyway, how long is this thing?
Well, we just did an hour, buddy. You know, that's good. I'm good with that. I you know, it's easy to do, right?
Good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I didn't like it.
You loved it. You guys should just Skype me in on your stupid.
We might do that tomorrow
on Horrible Friends podcast. You know what I mean?
It's called Bad Friends, you bitch. You know what it's called, bitch.
Yeah.
All right,
you know,
I love you, man.
I always watch Bad Friends. I love it.
Bye.
Bye, baby. Bye.